So what's up, YouTube? This is, as the title states, my 1,000-mile review of my Zl1 1LE. I've owned it for, let's say I bought it in October 16th, 2021. Had it for a few weeks, let's say 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've already done a 500-mile oil change, stuff like that. I've, done the break-in. I actually sent the oil change to Blackstone Laboratories, and did all the basic maintenance stuff you would do with a car if you really cared about it. But I've had a lot of other cars. This is a 6-speed manual Zl1 1LE. It's a 21. It was brand new when I bought it. Had 20 miles on it. So I feel like I was the only one who really drove it. Maybe 20 miles ain't nothing in my opinion. So I'm coming from a base C7 and a C7 Z06, Z07, and then the C8. But all my C7s were manual. My C8 obviously was auto. But this car really feels good. Feels really planted. It seems to just suck to the ground and go. I am still running the supercar, Goodyear supercar P3s or R3s or whatever they call them. But I'm getting some all-weather tires as it's nearing December. I'm in Texas, so I don't really have to worry about that too much. Doesn't really get too cold, not too much snow or rain during the winter, but I do want to drive the car a lot. The tires that are on it are only good for about 7,000 to 9,000 miles. I don't really plan on changing my tires that often, as I plan to put a lot of miles on it, and I want to kind of worry about other wear items, not tires. So that being said, it hooks good, it handles great, the shifts are great. I'm glad I got a manual. It's just one of those things, as a manual owner, I guess, it just feels, you can feel the car when you downshift, you can feel the nice pops and rattles and stuff. But I don't know, I guess it's an acquired taste for sure. I was in traffic maybe a week ago in Austin. It's where I bought the car. I actually got the plates for the car. So I was in traffic for about 40 minutes, just really stop and go traffic, and I got what I paid for when it comes to a manual. I got stuck just pushing the clutch in every 5 seconds, but every other time I love it. And it's, even in traffic, I'm like, you know what, I'm in a manual, I'm in this, I could be an auto, and it would just not be as fun to me. And a lot of little things that people probably don't realize, like with the manual I got no DOD. I don't, my car doesn't go into eco mode at all. It doesn't cut off cylinders. It physically can't. And I don't think any manual Zl1 1LE does. I know the autos do. But that's just one of the things that I like about this car. It does get horrible gas mileage, I'll say that. I get around 14 to 15 miles to the gallon. I do drive it a little bit spirited, but I didn't buy the car to baby it. I'm gonna drive it pretty hard, and kind of use it for what it was used for. But yeah, as for the speakers are way, I had the Bose speakers in my Corvette. These things, I never go past halfway. They're really loud, even with the windows down. It's really impressed me with that. The seats are super comfortable. I did a couple hour road trips here and there, and they're really nice. I really like them. They a lot more room than my C7. The cooling seat feature, I'm sure a lot of people know if they have a Camaro. If you turn on the feet cooling, or the feet air, and then your cooling seats, these things are phenomenal. The C7s, I felt like they were they were cool for 5 minutes, and then it's like you got them warm, they stayed warm. So just another plus. The heated seats, the heated steering wheel, I used them as well the other day when it dropped down to 40, which is cold for me. I'm in Texas, and I love it. Everything about the car, I couldn't be I couldn't be happier. It's something that I test drove it and fell in love with when I test drove it. And like I said, never wanted a Camaro, but God, this thing's like not really. It doesn't feel like a Camaro to me. It feels like a race car, especially coming from the C7s. Feels a little bit like I feel like the visibility of these cars are poor, but coming from a C8 and from a C7, when you turn to look, I can see so much more out of this car, and I feel higher. So honestly, like, the visibility is poor, but if you can use your mirrors and you can turn and look, it works for me, and I seem to have more visibility than my C7. So that's that. I don't like the skip shift. The skip shift is a little annoying, but just as a lot, if you had a C7 or any GM manual product, just rev it higher or do this little skip thing where you kind of take it out of first, wait a second, and then put it in second. That's how I do it. It's just, it became feel for me. I wish they just had an option to get rid of that. When it comes to this car, I did get the PDR and stuff. I don't really use it much. I don't really do track days as much as I'd like to say I do, but I really don't, compared to when it comes to mileage on the car. I put a ton of daily driving miles on this car. I'm a mobile mechanic. I work on Brunswick pin setters, so I keep my tools in the trunk and I just travel in this or go to an airport or whatever. But so that being said, this car is everything I wanted. For comfort, for sound, for speed, for reliability, it's really nice. And a lot of people told me I should have got a Corvette, or why didn't I get another Corvette or something. And I'm just like, man, it's just, I don't know. The one thing that I'll say, that the Corvette looks better, in my opinion. I think this kind of looks, it looks good for what it is, but the Corvette, the Z07, Z06 looks way better with its winglets, with the front splitter and stuff. I just couldn't really like them. But this car, I has a back seat. It's a laughable back seat. I know people are going to be like, well, you can't even sit in it, but for me, I bring my dog places. I can sit my dog back there. My girlfriend can sit next to me, even if she wants to bring her dog. I know that sounds funny in a Zl1, but we do bring a dog. That's why all that looks like that. I don't know if you can see it back there. It's covered in a tarp. That's just because, because I don't want my seats to get messed up, but I want my dogs to come with me. Same thing when my dog always sticks her head out this window here. So I roll the window down about halfway so that her face doesn't actually touch my Alcantara, and she does pretty good at that. And if anything else, I'll just buy a new door card whenever it gets all nasty, if she ever gets it that way. It's a car and she's a dog, and I love them both, so I'll just take care of them. It's kind of how it works. So you buy it, same with getting the car wrapped. I wrapped it because I wanted to stay beautiful, but we all know it's going to get rock chips, you're going to get wear and tear items, you're going to break things. So it is what it is. I love the car. This is my 1,000-mile review. I'll do more reviews as I go. I haven't had any issues. I've driven it pretty hard. No issues, obviously. Nothing I complain about besides some people say the visibility, though. I have the one complaint I'll say is I have the camera rear view mirror, and I don't use it because when I use it for long periods of times, it gets extremely hot. And I feel like for me, I can see perfectly fine without using it. It does have a weird effect, seeing stuff move. You're not used to seeing, you're used to seeing your car stagnant and then things beyond that moving. Whenever that's gone, the stagnant car is gone, and you're just seeing movement, it kind of makes you just a weird thing. So that's my only complaint when it comes to the car. I know it's a minor one. Besides, I guess typical GM stuff, their soft ass paint and their poor fucking workmanship, because they definitely forgot clips on my car. The carbon's a little messed up, but it's a car that I'm going to use, and I have brought up the carbon to the dealership, but we'll see what they say. But everything else, I just fixed myself. I bought brand new clips, installed, took the part apart and installed it properly with all the clips that it needed. Mainly my ground effects and my dive planes were missing clips, or just on the side, the ground effects, they just pushed the ground effect up with the clip not in the hole and just crushed it sideways. So you can see that it just dipped down where that, they were clowns. I don't know. But I know that was done at the factory. They don't do PDI work at the dealership, so that's just that. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching. 1,000 mile review. There'll be more to come. Y'all take it easy.